Hi, if you're new to my channel, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button, the notification bell, like this video, share it, and comment. My supporters, if they had any questions about future travel, um, during the pandemic, after the pandemic, how they feel, solo travel, topics like that. They have a million and one questions. And so today I decided to do a travel Q&A. One of the first questions was related to the pandemic. First question I got was, what do you think travel would look like after the pandemic? Just like any adverse situation in life, somehow it always bounces back. We get sick, and the hope is we recover fully. Answering this question about travel after the pandemic, like any adverse situation in life or circumstances, I believe that travel will definitely bounce back and bounce back for the better. I'm not just talking about it as just a travel expert, but also but more of an individual traveler, because I'm also known as a solo traveler. So I believe like the pandemic has taught us to know that we should never take anything for granted. People will be much more excited to travel. People will think about it, think less about how they would achieve travel, but do more of the traveling. Those who are not even regular travelers, I'm sure they're also very excited. I have been able to acquire a lot of new clients who have thought about it too and just told me to create a bucket list for them. It will bounce back, and it will bounce back for the better. Second question was, where is the place you are going to visit as soon as travel starts opening up? In actual fact, I already did. I couldn't wait, I went away for my birthday anniversary. I went to Turks and Caicos. Going to Turks and Caicos actually opened my eyes, my ears, and my heart, if not even my spirit, to a different type of travel, which of course we will talk about in the future. But I already did. I went to Turks and Caicos. Yes, I had to go. I had to go. Question number 3 was, what is your dream destination? I prefer to say dream destinations with an S, a capital S. As the taste and hunger for travel continues to be endless in me, I continuously do research for my clients and for myself. And um, from towards the end of I would say about last month or a month prior, I came up with about 4 or 5 destinations that I would love to be able to visit between this year and next year. One of them is Tanzania, Botswana, Rwanda, Cape Verde, and Senegal. I want to believe those are the 5 places that I would love to truly go and take a look at and just enjoy the beauty of Africa. Next question. Do you like domestic or international travel? That question is subjective, to each its own. For someone who has totally chosen to be a nomad, I will say both of them matter a lot. Domestic travel might come across as easy to navigate, and that is because I'm used to the country or the surrounding or the place, and I don't need to worry about currency exchange, speaking a different language, or just being able to move around. So domestic travel might come across easy or easier. International travel for me is just as exciting because it pushes me out of my comfort zone and gives me new and different perspective towards life and humanity. So, as much as domestic travel is comfortable, international travel for me is exciting because it comes with its own challenges, and those challenges are what keeps me going and wanting to do them. Next question is, what destinations in the US or around the world would you recommend to solo travelers? Confess that there are a lot of beautiful places one needs to explore as a solo traveler in the United States. For example, New York, New York City, um, Washington, D.C., California, Los Angeles, California, Savannah, Georgia, um, and the list really can go on and on. And these places that I've listed are places that I have personally been to solo. So, and I never had any issues with them. And then talking about the world at large, my recommendation would be to visit the beautiful continent of Africa. How I like to break that down is do the north, the south, the east, and the west. So starting with the west, I would go for Senegal, Dakar, and the north will be Morocco. All these places are filled with history and kind people. So at least it's clear that you've been able to achieve doing for the four parts of Africa. And somewhere else that I would recommend solo travel is Dominican Republic, which a lot of you know I talk about endlessly, and it's a place very close to my heart. Just find the land very peaceful and the people very warm, and that makes me appreciate them a lot. Another place is London, England. I grew up there, so I know it. Another place is Munich, Germany. Germany in entirety, if not even the whole of England, is very safe for solo travelers. Please be aware that this list is not limited. I'm sure, thousands of places that I would recommend to solo travelers. So this is just a tip of the iceberg. And not to forget, I am a travel expert, so when it comes to research, I do my work very diligently. So I know what I'm talking about. I'm aware of those places and those concerns that people have in terms of solo traveling. And I make sure that I am able to, if not 100%, assure my clients, but I'm able to at least research on their behalf and give them the do's and the don'ts and all the information that they need. Question number 6 is, during your solo trips, do you ever wish that you could share some moments with people or someone? Answer is yes, with a capital Y and an E and an S. I wish really that I'm able to. Sometimes you see something exciting and you're by yourself and you're like, oh, I wish, something like that. But, the beauty about social media is I get to share those experiences anyway on my social media platforms. And so I'm sharing it with you. I would love to share it with someone instantaneously or instantly. I still, savor the moment and reserve it to share it with you. Number 7, how do you get your photos when you solo travel? Oh, quite simple. I'm not ashamed to get my shot. Before we had the selfie sticks and the tripods, I would just ask random people, to take me a picture. I have tripods and selfie sticks. It's even easier. You just set it and take it. Sometimes I have to set my camera or phone in the position I want to get the posture that I want. Find a stranger in that area, I'll just show show it to them, and they take the shots. Some people hire local photographers. I mean, I think that's really cool though. I have never done that yet, but I think maybe that's something I would want to do in the future. Number 8, where was the first place you went that makes you want to travel? Okay. As a child, my parents traveled a lot for work, business, lifestyle, and they took us with them. So, as a child, there was really nowhere in particular that did it for me. But what stood out for me when my parents sent me out by myself to go to London to go study, that stood out for me because I embarked on the journey by myself. Everyone on the flight was a stranger. I sat next to a kind lady who just told me a lot about travel. So that experience grew in that conversation. Number 9, do you prefer historic or scenic travel? A lot of times, first of all, for me, history is very important because that's what makes us. So I am interested in history, and this, because from history, I'm able to learn. I'm able to understand better and understand different positioning of people and mindsets and culture. Very important to me, and so um, historic travel is important. And then when I think about the scenic travel, that is everything for me. Because I love scenery. I love the environment. I love nature. Those things. Maybe you would say I lead towards, but to me, I cannot take one over the other. I I really can't. I would love to be able to do both. Whenever I travel, I will do some history, and I will do the scenic as well. I mean, my last travel to Turks and Caicos was a mixture of both. A day I took out and did history, and then I think a couple days later or every other day I did something to do with scenic, but that matter a lot to me. Number 10, where do you go to get your inspirations? My inspirations come from you guys. When you post those beautiful videos or pictures of your travel journeys on social media. Really, that's just it. And of course, being from a travel background, that inspired me a lot. Of course, talking with my clients, listening to my clients tell me about their experiences and their testimonials, things like that inspire me. Sometimes I have client destinations that, you know, I visited the country, but I've not visited the particular place that they want to go to. And that just makes me excited and inspired and want to go to those places too. Number 11, how do you do your length of travel? Um, I've talked about this briefly in the past video. I never overwhelm myself. So, but what I first do is during my research, I check to see all the things, the places all the things I would like to do and places I would like to go to or visit when I'm on vacation. And once I'm able to narrow down these locations and activities, my next step is to see how many days I need to be able to achieve all of them or most of them. And once that is now narrowed down, it gives me a better insight of how many days vacation I should be aiming for. Number 12, what is your must-have travel clothing? A scarf, a wrap, a poncho, footwear. I would say whatever truly feels comfortable for me. I realized the last time I traveled, I found myself buying a couple of, tennis shoes or trainers, and they were very comfy throughout my vacation. So that's something definitely I will look or invest into more. Number 13, and that's the final one. If you must choose a destination to go to repeatedly without getting bored, where would that be? Very simple. Dominican Republic, the DR. I love the DR. Yeah, the people, their warmth, the scenery, just very comfortable, and the weather. That's a place I'll always go to and never get bored. And that completes my Q&A for travel. I hope I've been able to answer your questions to the best of my ability. And as travel opens up gradually, I wish everyone to be safe out there. The pandemic is not over yet. This video is not to encourage or discourage people from traveling. It's just basically me answering questions that have been asked. But stay safe, stay well, and I can't wait to see you in my next video.